Hi everyone, I am welcoming you to the dirty part of my basement. It's snowing a lot this morning. It snowed I think 24 inches a week ago, and now it's about to snow 8 inches. But I'm still thinking about gardening even in the middle of the winter, so I wanted to welcome you here. In a minute I'll show you some of the stuff I'm growing under my grow lights. But I'd like to just remind you this is a great season for winter sowing. So one more time I'm going to show you how I work it in my house in the dead of winter. So I've been collecting these. These are gallon jugs. And this is how I prepare. I take the lid, chuck it. I'll have to pick that up later. And then I just cut around it. I just leave a little bit of space so that I'm able to open it like this. But you can see how I cut it. This is about where I cut it right here. All right, and then the next thing I do is I take my old-fashioned scissors and I cut 4 holes. So hole 1, hole 2. Make sure I don't slice myself. Hole 3, and then a hole 4. So nothing overly scientific, but you can see here I've got 4 decent sized holes. All right, open it up like this. And then I head on over here. You can barely see it, but this is actually a wheelbarrow. I filled it with potting soil. This year I'm using Miracle Grow potting soil because it's what I found at Home Depot toward the end of the season, but I've used other stuff too. I've even used like the cheap stuff from Rite Aid. Before I start, I've got my watering can. I actually make this soil good and wet. I've got my dirty little digger tool, which is a fantastic gardening tool if they still sell it. All right, and then I just mix it up. I plop my soil in like so. All right, and I'm just gonna get closer so you can see how much I put into it. About this much. You can see it goes to about here. Again, I don't worry too much. On the internet, you see people who have like exactly 2-3 inches. That's not my style. I'm a little messy, but you know, it gets the job done. So, all right, so from there, I'm gonna take my seeds. Just a reminder that a lot of perennial seeds actually benefit from something called cold stratification, especially native. So if you guys have your milkweed seeds, this is a really great thing to do right now. They do benefit from 30 to 60 days of colds. So I'm going to plant in this jug butterfly weeds. These are ones I had saved from my garden. All right, so I go like this. I just basically sprinkle them in. One thing I wanted to mention is that when the spring comes and these things begin to sprout, you can do one of 2 things. Sometimes they're really little and you can actually, like just with your pinky, dig them out and plant them one at a time. Other species are going to grow thick. There's a method online called hunka seedlings. And what that basically means is that you plant them almost like in 1-inch chunks. Works really, really well. I've actually used that method for butterfly weed before when they come. So now that it's done, I go ahead and shut my container. I get out my Sharpie marker, and I'm going to label this as butterfly weed, which is that beautiful orange milkweed that doesn't get all over the place. It kind of stays in place. It's good for the garden. Okay, after that, I'm gonna have to put this down for a second, but then the duct tape is critical. I've done this now, I think this is year 5. For whatever reason, if you don't duct tape well, I find that things don't sprout. So then the last step is pulling out the duct tape. Now I'm disorganized. What did I do with my, oh, here we go. Here's my scissors. All right, so I've got my duct tape. All right, now I'm gonna have to do this on the floor, but I shut this up good and then I wrap it around. So let me just do this in a way that actually will work, because I do want these. Okay, so now it's nice and tight. So when I'm ready to venture out into the snow, I'm going to put this outside. I do usually put these in a sunny winter place, so all the ones that I plant are going to get pretty good winter sun. And again, I've had incredible success with this, so I'm excited to see what this year brings. I'm trying some new things. This I've done before. Butterfly weed is one of the last to sprout usually, but I have had good success. So if you're still with me, I'll give you a bonus. I'm going to just show you what I'm growing right now. So I've gotten really into grow lights with COVID. I actually have 5 right now. This is a Honeywell right here. This is for sure the strongest. So you can see here, I actually have quite a bit under here. This is, I think this is called Mexican Cuban oregano. This here is mung bead. These are tomatoes actually in the back. Here's a fig tree that's rooting. These are rooted pussy willows. Another fig tree. I've started some seeds here under the grow light. These here are peperomia, assuming you can still see them. And this actually here is coral honeysuckle, and in the back is some houseplants. I've actually got some other things in under this one. This light I got from Home Depot. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me make sure you can see it. This light is a little bit smaller. I actually just organized this. I put some of my succulents, you see here some Burrow's Tail, and I've got some primroses that are really struggling, probably because I'm not watering them like I should. Then in this one, I've got a bunch of succulents and houseplants. And then I actually have 2 more grow lights. Again, all different brands. So here's my next one. I've got lavender, which I grew from cuttings underneath here. Rosemary, which came from Stop and Shop. A bunch of too many tomatoes. And then I'm starting some seeds. And then under here I have not done this yet, but this will probably be my snow day fun today. So I'm planning on growing marigold stock and maybe a few others. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my dirty part of my basement, but more than that, I hope that you learned something today. So I'd love to hear what you guys are doing in the winter if you're a gardener and you're stuck in the snow. So share some ideas and tips underneath the comments. Thank you guys. See you later.